So Lex Fridman, and if you don't know who Lex Fridman is, can I give you a huge recommendation? He does these podcasts, and if you're not listening to his podcast, you should be. I watch him on YouTube, but I'm sure he's on other formats as well. Lex is interviewing pretty much all the thought leaders of the day. He's interviewed Elon at least twice. He's interviewed Grimes, Walter Isaacson, Netanyahu, go down the list. Anyway, he noted that he's going to interview Elon again, and he wanted folks to send him questions for that interview. And I thought, hey, I've got some questions for Elon. I've been waiting for that interview for years. But since I'm not going to get it, maybe Lex can ask some of the questions that I have on my mind, which I don't think anybody else is going to ask. I don't think anybody else is thinking quite the same way about Elon that I do. Anyway, I want to, this is Randy Kirk, hit like, subscribe, notify. I want to thank these Patreon folks for being producers of the show since very early this year. I think maybe all these folks are either January or February. That would be Jeffrey H., John T., Danielle R., and Edwin N. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And if you want to support the channel, $5 a month, $10 a month, down below, you know what to do, down in the description. Just hit the link, go to Patreon, and you can be part of the production of this channel. Okay, so I definitely have a different take on Elon. That's why I wrote the Elon Musk method. Nobody else is writing about Elon in the way that I do. If you haven't read the method yet, can I recommend that you get a copy of the method? Maybe you haven't read the mission yet. That would be absolutely nutty. I can't imagine anybody in my audience that hasn't read the mission yet. Anyway, okay, my first question. You have been compared to the Iron Man, who is a superhero. You've been compared to Leonardo da Vinci, Edison, Ford, Jobs, and other great inventors, engineers, and entrepreneurs. People have said that they wish you could run for president of the US. How do you feel exactly when you hear all these accolades? What does it feel like deep down inside to get this amazing kinds of things said about you? That would be my first question. You know, I'm sure that you've got some situations in your life where you're being praised or applauded for things that you do. How does it feel? Okay, now this guy is being compared to, you know, Edison and Da Vinci. Anyway, that's got to have an impact on how you start your day. Maybe somebody saying something like that. All right, number two, almost every fictional superhero gets a turn at being the villain because there are those who don't appreciate the heroic acts or they're so threatened by them. So you have a bunch of detractors. Many of them are from the environmental movement. Figure that out. And there are others from industries that have been threatened. But most of all, there are those out there who are worried about your effort to provide a platform for unfettered free speech. Yeah, these people should be worried. So how does it feel? The opposite of all the accolades. How do you feel when you're being characterized as a villain? What would you say to those folks? I mean, I'm sure maybe some of you in the audience have also been characterized as a villain. Maybe there's people out there that think you're a bad person, that you're not honest, you're not fair, you're not reasonable. Who knows, you know, maybe even people that are close to you, maybe people that have never really met you. But anyway, what does it feel like? But think about it on a world stage where people think that you're trying to take over the world or you're trying to be some, you know, megalomaniac that's out of control. So that's why I'd like to know the answer to question number two. Question number three, you say that you are often depressed, and there are stories that you have used certain very experimental methods to manage that depression. Isaacson mentions that you're depressed a lot. Do you feel that your depression is biological? Is it something that's in your hormonal system or whatever? Or do you think it has been more brought on by events, circumstances, trauma in your life, or other stumbling blocks that have come along? Why do you think one or the other? And what are you really doing about it? Do you have any advice to folks out there who are depressed? How do you deal with it on a day-by-day basis? How do your friends deal with it when you are in that particular situation? All right, that's question number three. Well, again, I'm sure there are people in the audience right now who deal with depression, who have had bad days or bad months or bad years, or who are chronically always depressed. And I'm sure that maybe you'd love to hear what Elon has been doing about that. Question number 4. Walter Isaacson spent a lot of ink in his recent biography about you, talking about what he and others perceive to be your emotional and or psychological issues. You've mentioned your Asperger's and your depression, but Isaacson seemed way more interested in your dark side. He kept hammering and hammering about your dark side. Do you think Isaacson's depiction is accurate? Do you feel like he overdid this whole business of how many kinds of psychological disorders you have? Do you have an interest in, after you read the book or after you hear people saying these things in the book, do you have any interest in treating or mitigating any of the issues that they brought up? Do you think some of them actually are contributing to your success? I have what I call the Pillsbury Doughboy theory, which is if you poke some kind of a negative about yourself in over here, something else might pop out over there, and you would no longer have some skill set or some capability that might have been partially an emotional detriment. All right, or psychological, or just for me, it's absent-mindedness. I've been absent-minded my whole life, but that's because my head is in the clouds all the time. Do I want to potentially become less absent-minded and also less creative and less in the clouds? You get the point I'm trying to make? Okay, that's the question. Number 5, you have famously talked about a coming population crash that you consider to be the only known crisis that is coming. This is not like some others that they're speculated about. No, we know that there's going to be a population crash. You've half joked that you are doing everything that you can to contribute to the future so there's enough humans to maintain civilization on Earth and potentially beyond. So you may, maybe you'll be making babies. Well, your girlfriends or wives or whatever will be making babies on Mars as well. Well, some might think that having 11 children by multiple partners, not all of them your wife, is not exactly a great role model at all. Do you believe that this is approach? Do you think others should actually emulate you in this? Is this something that you're kind of proud of and you'd like others to go, yeah, this is how I should run my life? I'd love to hear what you have to say about that one. Okay, number 6. You have also said that no one should wish their children to be like you, that you're very happy that lifetimes are limited. You say this even though you would like, it is very likely that you would still be making huge contributions to society, even if you lived to 200 years or longer, assuming you kept your health and your senses. I think you said that you would just really eventually like to rest. But there's no evidence that you want to rest anytime soon. So why are you so confident that you'd want to rest 20 years from now or 30 years from now or 50 years from now if you're still having a great time doing amazing things, creating things that are changing the world? I'm an inventor. I've started a bunch of companies. I get a big charge out of doing this, even at my advanced age. So have you thought out this part of your philosophy about this thoroughly? Could you add to the narrative of how you think about when you might run out of desire to keep working this hard and keep providing such amazing gifts to the world? Number 7, you have often stated that having a good feedback loop is critical to your success. The X platform provides you with the most amazing feedback loop any CEO has ever experienced, putting you directly in the line of fire with your customers, your investors, your fans, and your detractors. And yet you have a reputation for summarily dismissing some who don't agree with you and having a thin skin. Can you help draw a line as a teaching tool? This will be a teaching tool for others, how you might get better at receiving criticism since you say you're so interested in getting that criticism. How do you manage, that incoming, in your particular case, fire hose level of critiques from even people who are your biggest fans? Love to hear about that, because I think you're right that feedback loop that you have is one of the powerful things that helps you as an entrepreneur. Number 8. You'll love this one. The author of the Elon Musk mission. This is how I want Fridman to say the question. Okay. So remember, these are questions that Lex Fridman is going to ask Elon on his show. I want him to read this out exactly this way. All right. The author of the Elon Musk mission and the Elon Musk method, Randy Kirk, has described you in his books and on his YouTube channel. See that way how we get all this promotion? You get it? Okay. All right. I knew you got it. Anyway, the author, Randy Kirk, he has described you as being humble and having a well-developed ego. He feels that knowing what you are good at and what you aren't good at and being okay with both is part of having a strong ego. And he says your humility is evident that you are quick to say what you don't know and that you need experts to help you learn. How do you maintain such a healthy ego and deep humility when you have people kissing up to you all day long or just saying such lovely things? I mean, come on. Some of the people who work for you and some of the people that are around you are probably sycophants. I guess that's the right pronunciation. Anyway, so I'm sure there are people around you who are always just kissing up. Do you like it? Do you not like it? How do you maintain this balance? And by the way, I do think you're doing a good job. Maybe Lex thinks you're doing a good job too, but I'll let him be the decider on how he asks the question as long as he mentions my books. Okay. Number 9, you've experienced a huge amount of trauma in your life. And trauma is one of the most debilitating aspects of life that humans can go through. Which of these traumatic events would you say created any lasting personality negative in your life, or that is still causing issues for you in your life? Which of these traumas might have actually been instrumental in making you stronger, or tougher, or more successful? This would be, I think, everybody knows about these traumas you've had. They are now in multiple books. How do you think these impacted you? Do you have some sense of that? Have you thought it through? All right, number 10, do you ever get discouraged? What causes that discouragement generally or specifically? I mean, other than government regulators, we know that would be right on the top of the list. But what else discourages you? Does it discourage you when folks don't do what they're supposed to do? Does it discourage you when you don't do what you're supposed to do and you feel like you've let yourself down, let others down, let family members down, etc.? What does it discourage you when the world is kind of cattywampus about a lot of things like freedom of speech, or about how they're dealing with people of other races or ethnicities, or just people that aren't like them in any single way? What discourages you? I know what discourages me. I'm sure most of you in the audience have lists of things that discourage you. I'd love to know what it is that when Elon gets up on a day and he's feeling discouraged, what's at the core? All right, so there you are, Lex. Those are my 10 questions. All right. Hey, add more questions down below. What would you like? And I'll send them on to Lex, or you can go put them up on Lex by yourself, but I'd love to see in the comments below what questions you would have. Maybe some of your questions will be along this line. These are like getting into the heart, the soul, the mind. What is Elon doing when he's not creating? Because, we all have that thought life, and we all have that part of our life where we're not on the front lines of doing our jobs or managing our families. And we have plenty of time to contemplate what's going on with us and what makes us go, what makes us stop. So anyway, those are my 10 questions. Add yours down in the comments below. Would love to see those. Now, yesterday, you might have missed the episode with Brian Wong talking about his assessment of what happens next year with the Gen 3 vehicle. I think you'll find that very, very valuable. I will put that card right up here. Now, we do need to talk about, see, you get this black gift box. You get this in the mail, all right? It comes in your mail, or you get handed this at a party, or you get to, it's it's wrapped up with a bow or whatever, and you open the gift box, and what's inside but this amazing stainless steel depiction, if you will, of the Cybertruck. And it happens to be a bottle opener, and it happens to be made out of stainless steel, just like the Cybertruck, and it happens to be 3 millimeters thick, and it's made of, it's got a magnet on the back, so you can hang it on the refrigerator, you can take it to the cabin, you can take it down to the river, you can take it to when you're going to go out to the football game and you're going to have pre-game party out at the cars. You want one of these, right? Okay, it's $25. You send it to you send it to PayPal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. And it's $25 each. So if you want 10, if you want 10, you wouldn't multiply times 10. You would send me a note below or DM me over on X or find my email. And you would just say, Randy, what's the deal on 10? It's roughly 10% off, okay? So that'll give you an idea. But if you want less than 10, you just multiply times $25 and send me the money on PayPal. It's that simple. And, if you'd like, if you're out of the country, add the $20. Just had another one from Europe the other day. They kindly added the $20. And tell me, how many of them should be camo and how many of them should be the regular stainless steel? You should add that information as well. Now, you can get it for free, absolutely free. By the way, did you see that Elon Musk, Tesla, is now offering a bottle opener? I mean, ahead again, right? I broke the ground. I was the pioneer. And then Elon says, that's a good idea. We should do one of those too. Now, I didn't come up with this idea. One of the listeners came up with the idea. But anyway, so there's this $50. This is 25. And I think it's cuter. You want the camo? Do you want the stainless steel? And if you want it for free, you just join Patreon at the $10 level and you get it for free. All the information is in the description below. And I think I'm done for now. 2 more great shows coming up today. One with Larry Goldberg, where he is going to blow your mind again with a completely new direction on a subject that we talk about all the time. And Larry's got a great analysis you are not going to want to miss. And then we'll do the news much later today. We're the only place you're going to get the Saturday news. So come on back around 4 o'clock and we'll give you the Saturday news, 4 o'clock California time. All right. It's been great talking to you.